analog detail.
I always think about it and it always seems like a great deal, and then I'm like, I don't know, this looks weird or dirty or something.
What I think with Airbnb is I bet in like a place like New Orleans where you maybe put up in a cool house or you have a whole house to yourself in this neighborhood, you really dive into living in the culture. But I like a front desk clerk. I don't want to be like, hey, what do I do? I'm lost in this city. Like, I want to be able to call downstairs.
Yeah, you don't want to call.
I don't want to call
Davey G128.
Yeah, but I know people who had great Airbnb experiences.
Sure,
but also I wonder, like, being a famous person, like, they're gonna be like, will they tell people? Will they?
Oh. Yeah, if I do something like that, I'll just have like the tour manager deal with it or something, so they don't know what's me.
So you've thought of doing that, though, right?
One time when I was in Stockholm, I did it, and my tour manager like set it up for me and got the keys and stuff, and then the guy who owns the place, his dad came to get something, and he saw me, and he just like froze. And I was like, I didn't think you would recognize me because we're in Stockholm. But he was like, oh my God, you're staying in my house. I was like, I guess I am. And it was a little weird, but it was fine. I just like signed something for him. It was all good.
I was walking around with Sarah Silverman in Sydney, Australia, and we wandered by this garage sale, and these two fellas who live there, I believe they were a gay couple. They just all of a sudden like, oh my God, Sarah Silverman's in our garage sale. It was pretty fun. They invited us in. They were very nice, and they weren't pushy, and they were just like, oh, that's kind of thrilling for them.
Did you guys buy anything?
I bought the best lamp to bring back on a flight. No, I didn't buy anything. Are you doing any movies?
No, not right now. I have like movies I'm developing or whatever, but I don't know. You know what I read that I really loved was, did you see there was an interview that Sarah Silverman and Whitney Cummings did for New York Magazine where they like interviewed each other over the phone? Well, it's really good, but there's one part I remember where they were talking about movies, and I'm gonna butcher this, but hopefully I'll get enough of it right. I don't think they're gonna be mad or anything, but they were just talking about how, I think Whitney said like she was at a wedding or something. Someone was like, "So what have you been up to?" And she's like, "I just finished like this 30-city tour." And they're like, "Oh, okay. Well, are you doing any TV movie stuff?"
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then they both kind of talked about how like, why do people think movie stuff is cool? Like, why do you think me going and doing a shitty movie is better than me doing a great stand-up tour? Like, I've been offered movies and I've turned them down, and people are like, why? And it's because I can go on the road and do stand-up and tour theaters, and that to me is so much better.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, sometimes I'll get something where it's like, hey, you want to be in my, I'll do a Friends web series, but like, say, hey, you want to do this thing? It's probably be a 16-hour shoot, and they can give you $75. Like, I'd rather go for coffee by myself and sit there.
It's a big investment of time.
Dick around on my phone.
And I only have like a little bit of a break between seasons of Parks and Rec, and so for me it's like, how do I want to spend my time? Do I want to move to whatever city's given the tax breaks in the middle of Louisiana or wherever, and live there for 3 months and shoot this movie, and then it comes out a year later and I go out and promote it for a month? Like, I did a movie where I started and saw all the work that goes into it, and after you see all the work that goes into it, you're like, oh, this is cool, but unless it's something I'm really excited about, I'm never doing it again. So I read that interview with them, and I was like, thank you for saying that.
I should read that.
Stand up is...
But yeah, I've noticed that too, and I've probably talked about it, where there's the thing like you could do 5 lines on a TV show or movie, and people are like, oh my God, it's just you're like, well, I just did an hour show last night. Oh, that's nice.
It's kind of
But actually, the show is more impressive than the 5 lines that 800 other actors could have done.
Yeah.
Within a block of where I did it.
Yeah. I would rather put out a stand-up special than be in a bad movie.